Hi, folks, and welcome back to UGC League here at Killshot Esports. We are covering week 4, and I am Waffles for Sid, joined by Bebsi here for the evening. Bebsi, how are you doing going into tonight's matchup? What are your thoughts?
I am so excited to be casting for this tournament. I've seen a lot of good players on these rosters, and I think it's going to be an amazing series.
Ooh, I totally agree. We are going to see, the home team of Insidious go up against Solar Flare. Now, Bebsy, both of these teams, it's only round 4, week 4, okay? So Insidious does have a 2-1 record, while Solar Flare has a pristine 3-0 record. So, don't know if Solar Flare is going to be able to keep that record or not. What do you think?
Well, there's some bias here because obviously, Team Insidious, I believe that they're gonna take the win this time. But also, it looks like Solar Flare has a ringer this series.
Right.
So Team Insidious has the advantage. They have the high ground. So I think it's gonna be Insidious's series.
Well, they are going to have
Welcome
that,
to Oasis.
comfort synergy. It is a bit stressful getting a last minute ringer as well. So,
Initiating
going to be
match.
putting the pressure on Solar Flare and seeing how they can handle some of that last minute adjustment and not to be too biased for them, but their new ringer's name is Sid is Key. So,
Oh.
as a fellow Sid, I gotta say, looking out for you a little bit, but we are going to move into Oasis as our
Ready
first
for
map,
battle.
Bebsy.
Yeah, it looks like Team Insidious is gonna go in with the Tracer Sombra ball comp, and Solar Flare is gonna go a little bit more for a really like brawly type dive, a 6-man, if you will. So the main priority on this specific Oasis map is the high ground. Whoever can get their supports and their DPS on the high ground first can get a really good engagement onto the first fight. So right now it's a fight on the coast side of this map.
Quick rollouts coming through from both teams, but it's actually going to be Solar Flare that's moving faster because of the Lucio. Sid is Key gonna enable them to take that high ground really quickly, but not a big deal. Insidious very happy with this far side position on the column, looking for the right opportunity to approach during this poke phase. Otsu there is going to be able to provide a lot of valuable scouting information, but so is DX. Gonna be Insidious trying to capture the point here right out of the gate, but it is a skirmish here on the side. Demon Breed does take down the support, but pays for it with his life. Another manual hack coming through, this time from the Solar Flare side, but not gonna be enough as Insidious is gonna take this first fight, Betsy.
Yeah, Demon Breed being able to split the offense right then and there, causing Anarchy to be completely alone, and their Tracer was just able to clean up house. You guys cannot split up as 6-man. You guys do no damage alone. And so if they're going to split up like that next fight, it's not going to look good. The Tracer has Pulse Bomb on the ball team, so she's going to look to get a pick. Oh!
Ooh, nothing quite found from the Pulse Bomb, but a big pick comes through from Demon Breed. That is massive, taking down the support, and more follow suit. Insidious still managing to take this fight here by the cars.
Someone needs to lock down this Tracer because this Tracer is getting way too much value. Either the Sombra or the Lucio or the Diva need to mark this Tracer. But if it keeps going like unchecked, they're going to have a rough time. Demon Breed going to have Minefield for this next fight. Going to be a huge fight as a choke, it seems like. But I think the Death Blossom is going to be huge coming out of Squib for Team Solar Flare.
That is a lot of pressure on Squib as well to get the value out of this Death Blossom. There's the minefield thrown though from Demon Breed. That's going to clog up a lot of entry opportunities for Solar Flare. They're still trying to push through, and you can see the breakout of the fight, trying to make it through this choke point right here. Demon Breed did get the kill in the back, but Coalescence coming through from Karuki, and the EMP to combo it, clips 3 people. It is going to be Kid coming in with the trance, though, manages to avoid it and keep his team in this fight, Bebsi.
It looks like the fight's still going on. EMP coming out of Team Insidious. And I think they're going to take the map right here.
There it is. Nice job. Clean 100-0.
Yeah, that last fight was kind of messy, to be honest, coming out of both teams. Demon Breed minefielded that small area, not having LOS of his supports to help him. And then, Squib getting knocked out very early in the fight. You do not want your main damage source to be dead at the start, let me tell you. You want your damage source to be the last one alive so that they have the highest carry potential.
I'm curious what the difference in team comps will be moving into, this map here. It's still a lot of open angles, but not as many surrounding opportunities.
5, 4.
It looks like Team Solar Flare wants to go even tighter with down from a 6-man to a brawl comp. Hopefully they'll be able to run down the enemy tanks, because last time it was kind of rough for them.
A brawl comp is definitely going to be an in-your-face style, and I love that they've already engaged so quickly thanks to both of the Lucios. Manual hack is successful onto Sid, and, well, has to back off a little bit. Insidious now trying to do a pincer maneuver around Solar Flare, pushing in from both sides and moving down to the low ground to now harass them even further. A wall comes through, blocking off a bit of damage, but Solar Flare gets on the point just before it's capped in favor of Insidious. No one has gone down yet, and this is quite the battle of attrition. That is a huge advantage for Solar Flare. Now that the Amp Matrix is online, the kills keep rolling through in their favor, and Bebsi, it looks like they are going to be able to take this first fight.
It seems like Team Insidious wasn't able to capitalize on Team Solar Flare playing a little too slow for the comp, but I mean, Windows of Broken ability, you could do anything with it, so it looks like they were able to mow down the enemy team with their window, and they're able to clean up and capture this point. Oh wait, never mind, a stall's coming.
Yeah. I didn't realize how long of a stall Insidious was pulling right here, but a really nice job for 23%. Absolutely worth it.
That's definitely not bad, and with both teams coming up with some huge ultimates, this is going to be a messy fight. Coalescence is especially one ultimate to look out for, because against a brawl comp, they're all stacked together, so that Coalescence is going to do a lot of work.
And it heals your own team too, so you can enable them to be so aggressive in those, face-to-face fights. Already, look at that, dives in, has the Coalescence to back him up, and the Diva Bomb's thrown over the top to put even more pressure onto Solar Flare. The angles from Insidious are insane, and the attack is relentless.
What Solar Flare needs to do is play way faster than Team Insidious here, because Solar Flare loses the longer the fight goes on, because they have the Reaper, they have the Sombra. The longer the fight goes on, the more value those characters get. And if you have a Mei and a Reinhardt, you need to go in. So, even on defense, you need to be the one that does the biggest offense. Because with Brawl, a good offense is the best defense.
That is true, and I gotta say, Dodds is doing a good job at helping his team kite away and outmaneuver some of the potential isolation. Massive poop comes out from the man himself. Solar Flare tries to sound barrier and stay in this fight, but the damage has been done, and the boop onto Anarchy with the Earth Shatter online is going to force the reset.
That was just a masterclass defense. First, the boop into, the 5-man EMP. That was the most efficient team fight I think I've ever seen. They have Coalescence, they have Beat, they have Death Blossom, they have Primal. I don't think that the Brawl team's going to get it anytime soon, I'm going to be honest.
There is some really good ult conservation coming through from Insidious, and once again, they're trying to pincer around Solar Flare. There's a lot of damage on. It is all Kissaji in the kill feed. Man.
Anarchy had the really right idea there. I would have done the same thing, trying to solo shatter the Reaper, because he knew that the Reaper had Death Blossom, but Kissaji was one step ahead and made sure to Wraith before they Death Blossom, so they dodged the Shatter. So that was just an outplay coming out of Kissaji.
Early Amp Matrix coming through from Solar Flare is going to be critical if they want to turn the tides of this fight. Sid goes down early, and there is a Diva Bomb right in the face of Solar Flare, trying to stay alive here as the aggression from Insidious is so much. The Immortality Field trying to keep everyone in this fight for Solar Flare, but that is going to be it. Another kill coming through for Insidious, and just a little bit of trickle left for them to go ahead and take this first map of Oasis.
That was a very clean map coming out of Team Insidious. They were able to expertly play the correct tempo for their specific comp, and they were able to exploit and outpace the enemy Brawl comp. Because the enemy Brawl comp was trying to play the neutral against their comp, but when you're playing Brawl, you want to have the advantage. You want to go in first, right? And so, especially this raid form, that was insane coming out of Kisessaji. So that just shows how well they know their individual characters and how well they know their comp.
And we cannot forget to mention that Kid Maniac had popped the Coalescence before the Death Blossom comes through to ensure that he's going to be able to survive and make it through. EMP, icing on the cake after that. There was no way they're going to make it out of there. And look, lifesteal on Reaper to me is just people complain about some OP elements. Yeah, I think that one's a little ridiculous some days.
Well, I think the lifesteal was balanced out with his newest like rework of his range, because before you could just go up to someone's face, shoot them, and then you'd get full health again, and they'd be like all the way down to 0. But now that his fall off range is like farther, now that he does more damage farther off and he does less damage super up close, it's a little more fair, but not when you play slow. The longer you guys play, the more damage the Reaper gets, and that damage is not a joke. And
they were so grouped up in that alleyway too.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, they were a literal like arm's length away from the Reaper.
At all times, and if you're going to play that slow, you cannot be at that range. He's just too deadly.
Absolutely. So we are going to move to Dorado next. And you know, Control is a very unique style of map, right? It's a king of the hill. There's a lot more aggression, and setting the tempo can be really difficult. And taking back the tempo, I think, is maybe even more difficult than on some of these payload maps, which does make me excited to move here into Dorado.
Yeah, I'm on Dorado especially. It's all about getting the snowball going, because if you can get the good offense, right, you can take the high ground, set up for next fight, and then you can get another good offense because you have the advantage. And you just keep snowballing that, and eventually you'll go through the whole map. But if they get stopped once, especially by Solar Flare's double shield, they're going to be having a rough time for the next like 2 to 3 minutes. So, especially against double shield, you cannot let them set up. You have to play flawlessly, or you're going to be stuck. It's going to be really rough.
Well, we'll have to see what these teams can bring to the table. Insidious is going to go ahead and start us off with that double shield on the high ground. So hopefully their fortress is going to hold up. Solar Flare has opted for the Symmetra strategy to go ahead and move all the way around, and they're going to take the long route to try and shove them off the high ground.
This is a very fundamental academic version of like a double bubble rotation. This is the classic, especially on Dorado here. Let's see if they can get good bubbles on.
Initiation does come through a bit here, some good poking phase, but they don't want to play too overly fast. Squib goes down early in the fight, but can Insidious continue to maintain their advantage? They're still going to have to be, at some point, they're going to have to drop down and stall the payload itself. And there it is, moving around towards the alleyway. Oh, Solar Flare has MJ charged up on this Zarya. Could be a potential big threat moving in and through this choke point.
Oh, the anti!
Tedious work through, and holy cow, yeah, that was a 4-man anti-Bebsi. Absolutely nasty coming through. It forced Insidious back and allowed Solar Flare to push through this choke. Another one, and this time there is the follow-up right after Amp Matrix is released. Atsu doing a lot of work here on this Echo, and Solar Flare, that charge Zarya gave them so much momentum.
Yeah, that uber-charged Zarya was very deadly, but I think the anti-nades that fight were more deadly. I think that whole fight was just an Ana diff. It looks like Solar Flare has the snowball rolling. All they have to do is just keep it going, Keep it going, right? They have a bunch of ults. They're gonna try to take the high ground here. If they could take this high ground, they could possibly take this whole second point, right? Because this high ground is the most important part of the map. Ooh, early engagement though.
That was a beautiful engagement from Insidious. They knew that MJ was being overly aggressive, and MJ did not have the resources needed to quite back up pretty much all of Insidious in their face. And Solar Flare here gonna regroup and continue peppering.
I just wanna highlight the level of game sense coming out of Kasessaji. He knows that he can climb up the wall, so he's the one stalling cart like every single time. He's always dropping down and then climbing up. That's some really good understanding of your character.
Oh, Duplicate comes through, but she is instantly pulled up by the Flux and ripped out of the Duplicate form. Atsu not finding the value that he's looking for, and Insidious doing a good job at holding strong in their fortress on the high ground.
I mean, I don't even know what to say to that. It was just a failed engagement. The Zarya has their Zarya has high charge now, but it was a little too late for them. Squib has the high ground, gonna be a real threat this fight.
Solar Flare, yeah, like you said, Solar Flare moved over to the high ground, gonna be able to just naturally drop down, and oh, the CC is too much, and well, the pull back down does go ahead and take Anarchy out of the fight. Insidious doing a great job at holding strong and really stopping any snowball.
I think what Solar Flare needs is some really good communication right now, because I feel like their engagements are mistimed, and I mean, the double shield team on Team Insidious has a lot of stuns, so you mess up once, your Winston's gone, like out of here, back to the spawner. So they need to either get their bearings right and communicate with each other, or they need to switch comps, I'm afraid.
It's gonna be tough for Solar Flare to really crack the defense of Insidious, and you know, so like we mentioned earlier, Solar Flare is playing with a ringer, and you know, that could be the one little synergy part they're still settling into. Anakri does go down a little bit early, but it's okay. They got plenty of time to regroup, and Solar Flare still pushing the attack and the aggression. I like that they think they can take this on, and well, MJ is getting very charged up, does force out the immortality field, still looking for kills, not quite finding the value he's looking for. Insidious able to mitigate all the oncoming damage, and well, doing a great job at just trying to staying calm.
Even though that fight took a lot of unfortunate lives from Solar Flare, I think it was a very necessary fight to take, because now Otosu has Duplicate, and so if Team Solar Flare can get on the high ground and match the double shield on the high ground, maybe jump, maybe force them to drop, their Duplicate could have a lot of value coming into this next fight.
Squib pushing the cards. I love it, because this is actually the real name of the Overwatch game, and there it is. Forces Insidious down and off of the high ground position. Goal accomplished. Gonna be the Duplicate coming out early from Solar Flare, trying to engage strong here, and can't quite find the value they're looking for. Still, Valiant does get the Flux off, and a lot of people caught. Holy cow. It is gonna be Derivative coming up big though on that high noon.
Wow. I mean, Solar Flare was set up for success, but unfortunately they couldn't find which target they wanted to shoot at, and Insidious did a great job at punishing them for that. Oh, you're not going to shoot one of us at a time? How about all of us shoot you at a time? So that's basically what happened, and they just got shredded down. This grab, I don't think is going to be too much of a concern coming from the double shield team, because Orisa can fortify out of it, and maybe Sigma can even eat it. So I think, honestly, this is Insidious's map to take. I think it's free for them, even.
Insidious has been showing a really, really strong force here on this high ground. And, well, look at that in the fortress. Nice pulse gets thrown, and holy cow, another anti to follow up. Everyone's low. No one can get healed up. Solar Flare pushing the go button on this attack. They need to move this cart here with only 23 seconds left on the payload, and holy wow, CK Rookie is doing massive work with those antis, enabling Solar Flare to continue staying in this fight. Look at that, Bebsi. At the last moment, they are able to take this and take the second checkpoint.
Oh wait, maybe it's still not over. We see some contest. Oh yeah.
No. Yeah.
When I said this was free for Insidious, I was thinking because, like, the average team doesn't have Sid is Key and CK Rookie as their support lineup. The average team just doesn't have that. But when you do have that, it is not free. They will fight till the end to take that point, and that's exactly what they did. That was a full-on support gap. I'm gonna be completely real.
I mean, you caster cursed it Insidious right there. That was classic. And, you know, Insidious adjusting here to
Oh my!
filthy. CK Rookie absolutely filthy with those antis. And now I think that the map is going to be a huge advantage to allow them to land even more of it. Beautiful engagement from the Nano on top of it. Anarchy getting aggressive. Can they make their, oh wow, so much damage, taking out Derivative on top of it. Solar Flare found their momentum, Bebsy.
It's all thanks to CK Rookie. I mean, when you see anti-nades in your matches, you usually think, oh, I got hit by an anti-nade, that's unlucky and I died for no reason. But right now, they're treating it as their win condition. Like, yes. CK Rookie looks for an opening, throws that perfect anti-nade, and they just win the game.
High Noon channeled on the side. No kills found there for Derivative, and it is still Solar Flare coming up big in the kill feed. There is a couple of back and forths, and the grab. Is it enough to pull them through for this last checkpoint? They're trying to do their best, but a stellar bubble at the end during the freeze is going to allow them to take the third point here in OT.
It was summertime, and they somehow still made a gigantic snowball out of that. Did you see that? Their support lineup, right? Their support lineup literally put their team on their shoulders and said, we are going to the finish line, whether you like it or not. And Sid is Key and CK Rookie just brought them home. That was it. That was an amazing match to watch. I'm going to be completely honest. Like, that was unreal coming from the supports.
You know, I mentioned maybe Solar Flare was still getting used to their ringer and settling in. Well, they look settled now.
Yeah. I mean, Sid and CK look like they're settled. It looks like they're on fire right now.
Yeah. And I like that you pointed out that they're treating the anti as a win condition because, you know, everybody knows, oh, they're antied, right? Get more aggressive, try and push in their face. But the impact that CK Rookie is bringing with these is absolutely a win condition because that is what turned the tide both of those times. Not the ultimates, not those big flashy plays, the simple grenade ability.
Right? I mean, when you look at today's Overwatch, right, we have Break Shield Bash, which comes out like frame 1, right? And then we have BAP Immortality Field, which literally just wins you the game. And so we forget about how OP the OG abilities are. And CK Rookie's reminding me how OP anti-nade is, and she should be nerfed. Anna should be nerfed. No, I'm joking.
Now you're pushing it. Oh, but it is definitely one of the reasons why I enjoy playing Anna personally so much, because, you know, you're treating to your healers, and they still can't heal you, and you die in front of their eyes. Right. Always a sad day, but feels good when you're the Ana. And, well, going to be a lot of pressure on both of them. Already antis being thrown out in the mix. The res onto Demon Breed is successful, so going to be giving Insidious back at full force. Oh, well, shut down just as quickly. MJ did not want him to get away.
MJ D-Bum was like really able to hold down their support line there. Even with the amazing res coming in from Team Insidious, Solar Flare's Zarya was still able to hold down the fort on the high ground. And a high charge Zarya is going to make this fight really ugly.
There's been a lot of good bubbles coming through from MJ as well. I mean, we mentioned how charged he was last time. It may not matter though. Solar Flare's lost a couple members of their team, and well, they need to back up so they can actually defend the payload at the choke point.
Well, I think a high charge Zarya makes up for losing a DPS. I don't think they should be too worried.
Ooh, Demon Breed getting aggressive here, moving along. Pulse Bomb is thrown and doesn't quite find a kill, but still Solar Flare trying to move forward with this aggression, prevent the point from moving too much farther towards the first or second checkpoint. A grab committed, and well, MJ a little bit lonely during that whole thing. Oh, Insidious able to mitigate the damage with the bubbles, and That was a pulse bomb in the back, and another kill to clean
that's
it.
a 6K. That's a 6K.
Jeez.
Derivative just got a 6K.
So
That's
Derivative
insane.
won the fight.
Oh, and for those of you that don't know, DXIDY is a math formula for derivative. I just learned that today. I don't even know what derivatives are.
Isn't it DX
Oh, wow.
divided by DY?
I don't know. I just
sure,
passed high
I'm
school.
pretty sure that's divided, by the way. But
Ooh, big brawl in here.
he's been, I mean, he hard carried that last fight. Beautiful Tracer play. Things you see in like OWL level, you know, oh, 6K, no big deal for them.
Right, that's going in the montage.
Right? Insidious though still moving this cart along, and oh, the Sticky's focus beam combo is too much for Squib. Let's not forget Kid Maniac always popping off in the assist kill feed, because what would any aggression be without the pockets from your healers?
Wait, this is still winnable on both sides. With Anarchy being able to stall on cart, Solar Flare team is going to be coming back. Squib is going to be on the map. Maybe he can throw in a Bob on point to stall even more.
Oh, and Demon Breed does go down in the middle of it, so that does give Solar Flare the advantage to hold defensively here. They have a bit of high ground, and with CK Rookie so far in the back line, able to just free fire and heal, this could be trouble for Insidious if they do not displace him.
It looks like it's just going to be a slow poking phase right here. Oh, Squib, let's see if he can get the coach gun off. Ooh, it's a bad coach gun. He's going to be left hanging. But MJ with the masterful bubbles, getting him high charge and giving them a grab for the next fight. That's crazy. We have Pulse Bomb coming in from Derivative and a Diva Bomb for Team Insidious. I think the Diva should throw the Diva Bomb in the back just to pressure out the supports while they go engage on the tanks, especially the Zarya.
Yeah.
If you have a dive comp, you need to dive the Zarya first, so she doesn't get high charge for the fight.
I mean, ask and you shall receive. Diva Bomb thrown in the back right there, right out of the gate. Oh, and it's going to be Derivative getting a Pulse Bomb kill onto CK Rookie. That is critical to the back line of Solar Flare, and Insidious has opened the door for themselves to roll this cart on through to the second checkpoint. The rally at the end, you know, really sealing the deal for the supports on that payload.
I mean, we're looking on the outside and we're like, where's the fight happening? Where's all this stuff coming in the kill feed? It's Demon Breed shoving people into the close quarters rooms and just taking them out one by one. Demon Breed was an absolute menace that whole fight. And he has Primal for the next one. This is going to be a really messy and scrappy fight coming in.
So who's Demon Breed gonna single out this time? Who will be caught on their own? Which is obviously, you know, really great communication and synergy from Insidious, right? Definitely want to try and isolate with whoever you can. Good dive comes through, and oh, it's a grab thrown straight on the point with Dodds, the only one caught, and caught with an anti to follow up. Not feeling too gets a little harassed, but not feeling too shabby, because Insidious still holding strong on this push and managing to mitigate some of this aggression from Solar Flare. Oh, wow. That was a nade coming through from CK Rookie, but Demon Breed is still on a tear. There has been a nano thrown on to Anarchy, and it is a lot of pressure on his shoulders to try and turn the tide for his team. Kissaji tearing it up on the Echo, and now pops the duplicate on top of it, does a lot of boop damage away, and it is a chaotic fight here on the point with only 2:08 left on the clock, Bebsi.
Oh, and ults are still being popped. It looks like Team Insidious is trying to take this all the way home. Makes sense. I mean, Pulse Bomb is all they have on Team Solar Flare. Diva Bomb coming in from XD.
Oh, didn't find quite what they were looking for, but Kissaji coming up big, getting a lot of kills in the feed, and even gets a punch to finish them off. Still in Solar Flare trying to do their best to stall this card out time-wise, but it is going to be Insidious capping with time.
You know, I think that whole last, like, rally, like, the back and forth coming in from Team Solar Flare and Team Insidious was all thanks to the support lineup, but this time coming from Team Insidious. Kid Maniac and Dodds doing a great job of staying alive through the primals, through the duplicates, and then through the enemy team rallies. Like, they were just able to hold down the fort. And like, if your supports are alive at the end of the fight, you guys can just keep going. That's why the fight lasted for so long, because, you know, tanks wouldn't die because the supports wouldn't die. So that was some great play coming in from Kid Maniac and Dodds.
Yeah.
High praise for them.
You know, both of the Brigittas on both teams, actually, both Dodds and Citiskey, have been critical to keeping their fellow support member alive. You know, but there was a lot of tracers being thrown, and
Right.
the discouragement comes through when your Brig is doing their job well. And, you know, CK Rookie got hit with the pulse stick. Okay, that's... If you're gonna die to a pull stick, that's fine. But you're not getting constantly harassed by the tracers zipping around, and you know, it really allowed both of those Anas to shine.
Right, but Waffles, let's not forget about the gameplay coming in from Derivative and Kisesiji. I mean,
yeah.
these guys are maniacs, like absolute mind-boggling out of their minds. Oh, Brawl Team. Hello.
So it is going to be Solar Flare on the attack first, since they had the smaller time bank, and they only have 1 minute to push this card. So it's going to be an up close and personal brawl, with Insidious holding strong here in the small room to the side in the orange building. It's going to, you know, be easier for them to stall as they continue to peek in and out of the doors, and these mazes are going to be tough for both teams to try and find someone to isolate. Demon Breed's the first person to get taken out of the equation, and Solar Flare knows now that they have the advantage. An anti is so nasty once again from CK Rookie, and that is going to be Solar Flare pushing this cart, but there's only 15 seconds left, so OT is going to be coming up soon, Bebsi.
I was just reminded as to why I stopped really playing Overwatch, because Citiskey just matched Reinhardt in the 1v1, like, perfectly. Brig versus Rein, and Citiskey won. So, that's kind of ridiculous. But, coming into this next fight, Sid does have Rally, so it looks very bleak for Team Insidious.
And CK Rookie devoted a lot of resources to Citiskey in that fight, but an early pin onto Squib could be an opportunity for Insidious. There is a DPS down from each team, so who will manage their resources better? Dodds goes ahead and drops the sound barrier, and the Earth Shatter follows up from Insidious. They are trying to make the dreams live here on this point, but the Diva Bomb over the top doesn't quite find what it's looking for, and that anti-spawn Demon Breed is going to be too much. Solar Flare able to handle the trickle of Insidious pushing back on to this point. Otsu goes ahead with that duplicate, looking for even more damage and value, and well, once that Diva Bomb is up and available, they're going to be able to self-destruct for more space. Also, they had the defense matrix online for Derivatives high noon just now. Beautiful timing on that front, and with the blizzard being thrown from Kisiji, it is chaos here on this payload. Solar Flare does not want to give up an inch, and Insidious is doing a great job at trickling on and stalling this out, but Solar Flare still gonna be able to take it to the second checkpoint.
I mean, wow, all I could say is, in war, there's always 1 minute where everything happens all at once and you have no idea what's happening. And I think it's safe to say, none of us knew what was happening on that point, that fight. We saw some blizzards come out, we saw some rallies, we saw some Diva Bombs, and it looks like Team Solar Flare came out on top. Brawl Team's coming back from spawn, looks like they're not going to be able to utilize this high ground, so my best guess is they're going to rush to point, get hit with a blizzard, but hopefully they can move past it.
I was concerned for Solar Flare on that last fight with Squib getting pinned so early, but looks like they came out fine, and there it is, the blizzard from Squib being thrown, trying to zone away Insidious from the payload. Citiskey does go down in the mix of things, but it is still Solar Flare coming through and being aggressive and trying to capitalize on the space that they've created. The Nano is thrown here, trying to keep everyone reinforced a little bit more on Solar Flare, as the OT bar is still heavily in play. Man, antis being thrown once again from CK Rookie, but the sound barrier from Dodds is going to keep Insidious in this fight and enable them to be so aggressive and push forward. There it is, a big shatter, clips 3 people and can exceed. Go ahead, there it is, a beautiful Diva Bomb to finish it off. Insidious finally getting the momentum they need and pushed Solar Flare off the point.
All they needed was the best ultimate from the greatest, most OP character in the game, Reinhardt. I mean, like, come on. It is great to finally see again Reinhardt carry the entire match on his shoulders, but I mean, Demon Braid Demon Breed was able to perfectly execute that shatter. Got 4 people. One of them got hit with a Diva Bomb, and they were able to clean
Uh,
house.
I know quite a few people who would argue with you on the best ultimate in the game and all that
What?
jazz.
I think Reinhardt is
Personally,
OP. Like,
nah,
actually.
there's no way you can say it's more OP
Even
than
though,
Sombra's EMP, dude.
I mean,
Sombra, the ability to rip away the reason you're special in a game where everyone's special and that's what makes them useful. Come on.
that was oddly the best explanation of how EMP works I think I've ever heard. Like, I don't think I've ever heard someone say that. It just
That's
rips your
what it is.
individuality.
It
That's
rips away what
awesome.
makes you special.
That's so awesome. And then you're just a big monkey with a
You're
big
nothing. You're
hitbox.
you're normal. You're a normal person,
You're a
right?
normal monkey from the moon. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You're just an ordinary one.
Right.
Dang. That's really sad. Anyways, it looks like Squib is going to come up with a Torbjorn and try to give some more anchoring on the high ground. I think it's going to be very effective, especially against Team Insidious's comp.
Well, it's going to be quite the wake-up call for Demon Breed when he dives over there as well. He's already used that bubble over on the corner, so going to want to let that reset before getting too overly aggressive. Kisaji does go down in the process, but it is still move the payload, right? That's the name of the game. So Insidious taking their time and, knows that this is a bit of a poke phase before Solar Flare really has to step down. Solar Flare going to engage a little bit with some of their more maneuverable characters on the low ground by the payload, but it's gonna be MJ D-Mech and taken down in the thick of it. Solar Flare, not completely out of this fight yet, and you can see the brawl here on the high ground, trying to really push Solar Flare off, but this Nano Brig is nasty and not something you can push it to.
Yeah, I think Team Insidious played a little too fast for their own comfort there. And you cannot... Oh, wait. I was about to say you can't take the high ground from these guys, but I'm guessing they are. They're going to fight for it.
Well, Insidious really taking advantage of the spawn advantage, moving out of this attack zone here, right? They managed to get a few kills, and because they respawn so quickly, they can still continue pressing their assault on Solar Flare with this aggression.
I'm honestly surprised that Nano Winston was able to do so much there. I mean, especially with the Brig, Torb, and Ana, it seemed very unlikely like the value was going to come out. But I mean, Demon Breed is a menace on Monkey, so anything could really happen with Demon Breed piloting Winston.
Well, you can hear it in the audio, folks. 60 seconds remaining for this round, and if Solar Flare wants to stay and will not put themselves behind the 8-ball at match point, they're gonna have to hold strong here just before the golden box of victory. Insidious is gonna want to move this card around, and 40 seconds is not a horde of time to really work with. It's gonna be the duplicate coming out from Kisaji early in this fight, but CK Rookie drops the ante on to Insidious, trying to discourage them from being too aggressive. That could be the nail in the coffin. Exceed clipping Sida's key with the Diva Bomb. A zoning self-destruct comes through from MJ, trying to keep Solar Flare in this fight, but the rally from Dodds is nasty. Insidious is beefed up. They feel the inspiration, and there it is. They're gonna roll this cart on forward. Oh, I thought it was going to be right there, but just in the nick of time, Solar Flare able to touch and contest, push it to the OT bar, but there it is, Insidious, taking the map.
I mean, I think that was all just thanks to Kisasaji's masterful duplicate on Winston. Like, primaling both supports, pressuring them off, playing the second main tank. I mean, it was 2 main tanks to 1. It was kind of rough. Being able to boot...
Sorry.
Oh yeah, the fellow Sid. Huge grab. I mean, come on. I'm pretty sure this is when I said like the supports were really
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Cracked
insane.
right there, and just in their face.
but like the Echo being able to duplicate Winston and then like primal them on the opposite side of the high ground, so they had to like do a whole trek to get back to point while people were still trying to stall, and it was a very scrappy fight on cart. I mean, I don't know. That was just. Kisasaji was a monster that map.
Well, and I think, so personally, when we see these Winstons juggling around all these different characters, whether it be as a duplicate or as a normal Winston tank player, some of the things that kind of get underrated is how much they're displacing the other team and how it much it puts them in a compromising position, right? You just called out how it forced them to have to walk all the way around. And, when the stakes are, the checkpoint is much closer, no, having that game awareness and being able to literally just push them too far away to win the game and know that you don't have to kill them. You just push them away. Definitely shows a lot of game awareness and discipline as well.
Right. I think displacement, like the CC type displacement, is actually like very underrated for the amount of value that it like actually gives to a team. Like, yeah, a flashbang is like hurts you a lot and stuff like that. But once it's gone, and you can help a teammate that got flashbang. Right. But you can't really help your Ana move around a wall. That's one person's job, is to try to get vision. And so being able to boop an Ana, that's way more harsh than just like getting stunned with a flashbang for like 2 or 3 seconds. So I think people should be on the lookout to prepare for that type of displacement.
Right. And look, if let's say your mechanics aren't quite as up to par, I can relate. Positioning can really go a long way, and you can go very far on fundamentals that don't include being able to hit those Widowmaker sharp shots or, headshots all the time. And knowing the effect and the devastation putting someone out of place can be is critical. And, it's capitalized all the time in traditional sports. We see people jump here in the game on those, outlier McCree on the side trying to get that flashbang, or, maybe Tracer who's a little overconfident. And it's no different than when you just push him out of the way on that as a Winston without getting the kill.
Right. And if you ever need to experience why displacement is so punishing and stuff like that, you should try main tank. I mean, as a main tank player, yeah. You move a centimeter off, you get stunned by Brig, by Cassidy, and then you just get insta-killed. So, yeah. And, it's really rough.
The main tank definitely has some of the worst woes. Although I gotta say, I don't know if being an off-tank player is worse, because being staggered as Baby D.Va feels really bad.
That does suck, but
you're so alone.
In a lot of tournaments, I think they ban staggering. I mean, any tournament that I play, they are always banning D.Va staggers. It's like some sort of disrespect or something. I don't know. I think
that's interesting. I haven't experienced a ton of that myself personally, and welcome to the rules of the game. You should flex them to your full ability, in my opinion.
Do you think D.Va staggering should be banned from tournaments, or do you think it adds a level of complexity? Oh, okay.
I personally think that, if you're going to, look, the Overwatch rules are the same for everybody, and if you're leveraging them to your team's advantage to its fullest, welcome to playing the sport. Welcome to every traditional sport, and welcome to sports in general.
Well, I guess we could ask the fans as well. Chat, why don't you guys decide if banning D.Va staggering is good for the game or not? I think it's amazing watching 30 seconds of a team sleep and then Maywall and then freeze and halt at D.Va. I think it's really funny. But then again, I'm not an off-tank player, so I wouldn't know how it feels.
Feels bad. Definitely feels bad when you get caught out. But, it might be my water polo history where we do a lot of cheating underwater when the ref's not looking. So I might be a little more biased on flexing the rules there. But, it's not easy either to try and stagger out a D.Va sometimes, especially when you are doing the body blocking and timing all of your abilities. That's still a synergy you guys need to have as a team. And the real question is Solar Flare going to be able to recover some of their synergy? That nade from Kid Maniac was incredible, Bebsi. Wow, just absolutely put the nail in the coffin right there. Insidious stopped him in their tracks.
Just an explosive start coming in from the support line of Team Insidious. It looks like they heard me talk about how great Solar Flare's support line was, and we're like, nah, we could do better. So I think this whole map is just going to be a duel to see which support line is better.
These
I personally, even though Insidious is like, you know, the home team, I think CK Rookie and Sidis T got it in the bag for support line of the year. I don't know about you.
Well, you know, even though we're here on Killshot, I like to be as unbiased as possible, but holy cow, it's hard to be when you see that anti from across the way. I mean, CK Rookie was throwing them earlier, and Kid Maniac stepped up to the plate to match. Definitely discouraged Solar Flare a bit from being overly aggressive. Does stall them out for more time as they rotate all the way around. I like that they're moving around to try and push Insidious off the high ground, because look at this fortress set up. The turret, the Ash, and the Torb with Brig. It is going to be nasty to push into them here, and with Kid Maniac devoting the Nano on top of it, it is a close brawl here in the hallways for Solar Flare as Insidious just continues to aggress forward.
Yeah, I think that engagement was a little too telegraphed, and Team Insidious was able to perfectly punish them for being able to show, like, they showed their whole hand, right? And if you show your whole hand, we know exactly how to counterplay it. And so, if you're waiting that long for an engagement, you should probably think of a new one on the fly, because it would probably have more success, especially if you're trying to go through a narrow hallway up against an Ash and a Torbjorn. That won't always end well. It looks like we're gonna have a Nano coming in for Team Solar Flare, gonna be able to help them with the engage.
Derivative already gets the pick on to Squib, a beautiful dynamite, and you know, look at the positioning of Insidious, right? They're here on this far high ground, and they have so much vision on Solar Flare when they're trying to move forward, and unfortunately, Grenade and Dynamite are lobbable, so they're just tossing them in there.
Yeah, Team Insidious has 4 oh wait, never mind, fight starting, let's go!
Oh, Atsu goes ahead, gets a double kill with the pulse bomb in the backline, and is gonna give Solar Flare an opportunity to take this point. Diva bombs coming through from XD, and well, just do a bit of zoning. Another one to match though, this time from MJ. Solar Flare does not want to give up on this fight, pressuring down the baby Diva. There it is, one tank off the point, now still handling another. Solar Flare now going ahead, taking the trickle of Insidious as they're pushing on to the point. That Torb turret is set up, putting some of that pepper damage and pressure on, but Solar Flare gonna go ahead and cap this payload.
I mean, Atosu got 2 picks at the start with that huge pulse bomb, so I think it was just, I think Atosu was just playing Judge, Jury, and Executioner that whole fight. I think it just ended right then and there after the double stick. For this next fight, Atosu has another pulse bomb already, but it looks like for most of it, everyone's going to be playing neutral. And in the neutral matchup, Kassasaji and Derivative win with their more spammy DPS characters.
Looks like CK Rookie also stepping up the antes and throwing a couple to discourage the tanks from being too aggressive yet. It does force out a few seconds of waiting too, and any resources also needed to heal them back up. Nano is gonna be committed, and well, let's see, is Demon Breed gonna get the work done here with it? We're getting a lot of pressure on to the Zarya, does have to back out in the end. Atosu does get the pulse bomb kill too, and it's gonna be a Solar Flare pushing the payload forward, and the even harder engaging after that, throwing the Nano onto Anarchy, and he is going to keep moving along, pressuring on to Derivative. Right here is that Ash. Bob got covered by his bubble, and Solar Flare going to push this to the second checkpoint.
I think Team Solar Flare used their ultimates way more efficiently there. Like the early Nano onto Demon Breed, all that did was really give MJ like a lot more charge, and it gave CK Rookie an instant Nano. And then that Nano was perfect, and yeah, I think Team Insidious really need to be careful about how they use their ults if they want to win this map.
What?
Oh, wow.
Okay. EPS.
Wow.
What is it? Derivative and Demon Breed coming up big on Insidious, and pretty much just stopped the potential for Solar Flare to snowball through with those ultimates online.
It looks like they're going to mirror Brawl. I mean, this last part of the map doesn't really have much high ground to work with. It's mostly just long, narrow sight lines, and, you know, that's Brawl's specialty, so why not?
Oh, yes, that, I mean, welcome to King's Row indeed when we're there. That's a great definition. And, well, MJ here, a bit alone, completely alone, isolated and walled away. The rest of Solar Flare had opted to take the high ground and try to put some side pressure with that visor from Squib, but, you know, Insidious with Dodds on the Lucio, able to whip around the point really fast.
I think both teams playing this slow is not really the best course of action for either of them, because both teams, their biggest interest is going in, fighting, and then, like, you know, seeing the result. And especially for the offensive team, they don't want to wait around for too long to run out of time.
All right, it's Ultimate City getting thrown left and right, and, well, it's going to be a lot of... Wow, so many kills exchanged back and forth. The pin comes through, and Anarchy is not able... Oh, there it is still alive. Citizen's absolutely keeping him up in this fight, enabling this intense aggression coming through. The Shatter committed on XD here on the side, continues swinging away, trying to find that value, and Anarchy charges out. Oh, Demon Breed saved at the last moment thanks to the freeze, and throws a Shatter right into the shield of Solar Flare. Solar Flare wants to keep pushing forward and goes ahead, capitalizes on Demon Breed's death, and continues their aggression, Bebsi.
I can tell the comms are firing up on both teams because everyone is just in the zone right now, throwing out their ults, throwing out their most important abilities. They're playing fast because they want to win.
Derivative channeling that high noon here on the cast in the back, trying to find the kill. Nope, nothing found, but some zoning and space will be taken. It's going to be a huge immortality field, saving everyone on Insidious from that anti-nade from CK Rookie. 6 seconds left, and Solar Flare down quite a few people. They are not going to be able to touch the point as, well, that's going to be Insidious. Going to go ahead, take this first, or stop the point here before the third checkpoint.
That was a masterful blizzard coming out of Kissasaji, and then Demon Breed getting, like, 3 people with that Fire Strike, being able to secure 3 picks out of that blizzard. And so, when it was all said and done, it was Team Insidious's fight all the way through.
Yeah, and, you know, they did a good job recovering on some of the mishaps of the earlier fight, right? You know, no one wants to throw a Shatter into a shield, even though I do it pretty regularly.
I do it too, don't worry, it's very common.
But Insidious did a great job at keeping their cool, regrouping for one last and obviously successful defensive hold here before the third checkpoint.
I mean, if I'm Solar Flare right now, I'm not really that upset, though, because Numbani point 3 is pretty rough, and so being able to get that far into point 3, and not to mention getting 2 points at all, is, like, something to be proud of, and all they really need now is to just stall the clock as much as possible. And you can see from their comp, having that super spammy, super patient comp, it looks like that's going to be their main goal right now, is patience. I mean, if they play very fast here, I think they're going to lose it for sure. So I think they just have to make sure to stay patient, stay calm, don't go for the kills, because they have some really unreliable damage sources, like Hanzo and Torbjorn.
Right.
So they just have to play patient and wait the game out, I'm afraid.
Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
I'm excited to see CK Rookie on this high ground, though, as the Ana, you know, get a little roll reversal and watch him lob the grenades in. Looks like Insidious, though, doing a bit of a split approach, as you can see a couple people moving around towards the high ground. And, well, our higher damage dealers will push the front line, engaging here right out of the gate in, well, just this high ground by the sign. A little bit of, a D-Mech comes through. That's pretty big for Insidious, but they did lose Dodds. And, with Kid Maniac out, that is going to have to be them resetting. And Solar Flare going to hold strong for this first fight.
I mean, it was a very greedy rotation coming out of the support line from Team Insidious because their diva was not there to protect them. And Anarchy did a great job punishing them for not having anyone to support their healers. Because, yeah, Brig is OP, but Brig can't 6v1. Or can she? Nah, I'm playing.
Not without the nano.
Yeah. The Genji coming out from Team Insidious, though, is kind of intriguing.
All right, gonna have a little bit of different pressure opportunity, and of course Nano Blade, a huge win condition potential. Big kills coming through out of the gate, and even more to follow. Solar Flare trying to mitigate some of the damage and retreating in the hallway, but Insidious doing a great job at continuing to collapse around them and pincer them through. And well, with a couple ticks already grabbed here on the first point, looks like they're going to go ahead and take it.
I mean, Team Insidious came in with the exact same offensive plan, left their healers completely unattended, but unfortunately, Team Solar Flare was not able to capitalize that time. And so they were able to take that first point. But a lot of ults are coming out, especially on Team Insidious. If they can get a good Nano Winston, even better than... oh, sorry. Yeah. What am I saying? Anyways. If Team Insidious can get a better Nano Winston than Anarchy and CK Rookie, things will look good for them.
Well, Insidious also could use the Nano Blade and give the Nano 2 derivative instead, which, you know, we've seen the cleave capacity that is, and I'm sure we've all experienced that our games. Oh, what? Look at that anti coming through from Kid Maniac. Clip 2 people onto Solar Flare is going to put them at a bit of a disadvantage when they're hanging out with Demon Breed up in that small room, but they managed to repel him. Nice job coming through as they continue to free fire here from the high ground. There it is. The Nano has to be massive. So much pressure. Does manage to get Sid's key, but taken down shortly afterwards. Solar Flare wants to defensively hold this point if they can right before the checkpoint, but Demon Breed not giving up without a full fight. Goes ahead, commits the Primal Rage, gets the kill onto Squib, and is going to have to reset though after all that.
Was that a Nano Blade or a regular blade? Because I didn't really hear the Nano voice line. Okay, that was a regular blade.
Okay.
I say that it's the better play to Nano the Winston, because Nano Blade against poor Hanzo Brig Ana still isn't really that lethal. You know, the boobs can come out from the Brig, and then the turret will do a lot of damage to that Nano Genji.
Yeah. Oh, there's a Diva Bomb going on for the top, and another one! This time thrown from Exceed, trying to clear a lot of space for either team. The Dragons from Atsu are going to tear through. They clip Dodds in the back line, and now Solar Flare goes ahead and throws the Nanoed Monkey on the point. Molten Core has been tossed as well, and that is going to prevent Insidious from really gaining too much space to take forward. Jeez, maybe not. With the Nano Demon Breed coming up, absolutely nasty. He is continuing to just aggress forward and cleave through anyone he can.
Now it's a straight up, what is it? It's a 3v1 actually. Team Insidious managing to take the point. Yeah, Demon Breed is a demon.
Wow. I mean, the captain himself really holding strong and clutching out for his team here right on this second point.
I mean, when things got scrappy, Nano Winston is super lethal. And so that's what they had to bring out to get the point. Yeah. Wow. Demon Breed with an excellent showing off the mechanics and how to correctly and very fundamentally play Winston. It looks like Anarchy and the rest of the Solar Flare team are gonna stick with Brawl for the third point, just like they did last round. Let's see if it'll be their savior.
Insidious has a very tangible win condition as well. They just gotta push it all the way to that little golden box, and well, with the duplicate being used early and Kisiji ripped out of it pretty quickly, Solar Flare did not want to let Kisiji build up that Earth Shatter in the duplicate form, and well, is going to send Insidious back to the respawn.
With 3 minutes left, I don't think Team Insidious is too worried about that. All they really need to do is get some big ults coming along. Once they get them online, it'll be really smooth sailing. Team Solar Flare is forced to play perfectly, or else they could risk losing the entire map. Diva Bomb might be able to help with that for this next fight, being able to zone out on point. They do, Derivative does have the Cassidy now, so they're mirroring Brawl here. So yeah, if they can get good Brawls coming along, it should look pretty good for them.
Let's see if the change is going to pay off. Already a Diva Bomb thrown into the mix. What? A great kill already early coming through for Demon Breed. Insidious now has the momentum they need after taking down the main tank of Solar Flare to continue rolling forward. Solar Flare needs to do a quick regroup if they're going to have a chance to recontest. And I don't know if they are. The distance is closing quickly. And if Insidious can displace Solar Flare enough to prevent them from even touching, there it is. They are going to take this map and take the series.
I mean, Anarchy was just assassinated under Team Solar Flare's noses. Like, literally, they walked into Anarchy and no one on Solar Flare noticed. They were not able to protect Anarchy, and so Anarchy just went down. And that just sealed the deal for the entire series. That was mad.
Absolutely. And you know, we've gushed about it there right at the end. Some really fantastic plays coming through from Demon Breed himself, right? The captain of Insidious, just clutching it out. And you know, I'm really curious to see what the comms would be like on their team when he is just, oh, we're going on so and so instead. Now we're going on so and so.
I mean, I can imagine right now, Team Insidious, the comms in Team Insidious are just like bottles popping, everyone celebrating, you know. They just won 3-0 against Team Solar Flare, giving them their first loss in the entire tournament, I believe, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was exactly what I was going to say. Solar Flare, not quite the pristine record they had before.
Not when they go up against Demon Breed, at least. And the rest of Team Insidious. I mean, they were all playing like monsters out there.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
let's see. We had
Annas were insane on both teams, though.
Right.
They were
Let's
popping
acknowledge
off.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the support line coming in from both teams were absolutely masterful, being able to throw in anti-nades to create opportunities, not necessarily to capitalize on others, but to make plays themselves. It was actually really cool to watch.
Yeah, it's a big change of pace to really see them used as the proactive engagement, right? Typically, it's more of the flashbang or, you know, the Zarya bubble that just lets you face tank all the damage. Yay. Oh, but you know, I'm not sure if we're gonna have an interview yet, folks. So don't go anywhere. We are gonna kick it to a quick break and we'll be right back. Hi, folks, and welcome back to Killshot Esports. We are here with XD from our victorious home team of Insidious here for our UGC week. XD, how are you doing and feeling coming off of the win?
Definitely good. It's always good to get a W, especially a 3-0 at that. I know there was definitely a lot we can improve on since those maps were very close, but overall, I feel very good about it. We've been doing very well recently, and I think we can keep it up.
Yeah, you guys definitely had some pretty outstanding moments from some of you between, your DPS popping off on a 6K here and there. And, some of your supports seem to really pick it up towards, what was it, the Dorado map. What
Right,
was the
yeah.
mindset for your team and kind of the chat around moving into that?
Um, Demon really wanted us to rally behind him. We knew our target focus was not as good as it should be, so we were just like, okay, we need to focus up here. We are better than this team, and we know this. It shouldn't be this close, and we need to really focus up here. And I think about halfway through the map, we did start to focus up, and then we just kind of went on from there.
Yeah, I would say it definitely took a bit of a tone shift for you guys during Dorado, and you really started to set the tempo yourselves during the games. Bebsy, what do you got?
I wanted to ask, like, you guys seem to be like rotating like very expertly, and it seems like all of you guys know, like, really know the fundamentals of all of your characters. My question for you guys is, how how much practice do you guys really put in? How much do you guys care about winning this entire tournament?
Um, well, we practice twice a week, and then we do a VOD review. So I think we practice about a normal amount, but we do really want to win this tournament. I know a lot of my teammates have been grinding competitive recently, trying to improve. We hop into calls and just kind of plan out routes sometimes for the maps, just so we know that our rotations are correct. And I think that it really did pay off.
All right, and I also have a really important question to ask. What was the mindset behind allowing Team Solarflare to play with a rigger? I heard you guys didn't have to, and you guys could have taken the win. So what stopped you guys?
I mean, we didn't really want to be that team that would just like take any opportunity that we could to win. Like it would be nice to get the guaranteed 3-0, but we are confident in our abilities to win these maps. And I think that getting the forfeit win would be kind of not really a showcase of what we want in Killshot. We want to be able to win fair and square, not just take easy wins.
Right. I mean, that's very admirable coming from you guys, and you guys totally deserve that 3-0 win. All the masterful plays coming from all of the players of Team Insidious. So I congratulate you guys from the bottom of my heart. Good job.
Thank you.
I mean, I couldn't agree more. Is there anyone, you want to shout out or give props to for, helping you guys get to this position or, accomplish what you have so far in UGC?
Yeah, our coach Chasm, he's been offering VOD reviews for us, really just coaching us through it. And I also want to shout out my main tank, Demon Breed, which is our captain. He really makes sure that like during the matches we are rallied behind him, and he's always keeping the cool head. Usually, and I think he's really just kind of the core of the team, and without him, I don't think we would be quite as good. So just props
Wow.
to the main tank and our coach.
Nice. Well, I gotta say, it is nice to hear, that the captain is really keeping the glue together for the team, and both of you had a fantastic performance this evening. And once again, congratulations on your win, and thank you for joining us, XD.
Thank you.
All right, folks, we are going to wrap it up for the evening. Thank you so much for joining us. And, Bebsy, before we sign off, we got to do some thank yous and props for everybody, right?
Right.
Folks, we could not do this without our producer and your observer, Amid, behind the scenes. Production's the real magic that brings you the show. And Bebsy, thank you so much for joining me today. It was great to cast with you here, our
Oh.
first time together at Killshot, and I'm looking forward to casting in the future with you.
Yeah, that was like very fun. It just kind of felt like us watching Overwatch League on the. I mean, it was crazy like it was Overwatch League. So that was just like really fun being able to hang out with all of you guys and hang out with Waffles and hang out with our lovely producer. It was just a really good time.
Yeah. And folks, this is, a weekly Friday occurrence. It's actually going to be Bebsy, who is the regular and your anchor for the Friday cast. I'll be in and out every other week. So we'll see you next week. Well, Bebsy will see you next week. I'll see you
Yes, I
next week in
will.
the chat, and hope you all have a great weekend.